On the agenda tonight, we're going to be having a listen to the vocals from an official music industry release and comparing those with the raw vocals that were actually produced for the recording. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So, I actually can't believe what we have got to look at tonight because I'm so surprised that this video exists on the internet anywhere. We have a vocal group, a female vocal group, and they're called Mamamoo. And the original video, the official release of this particular medley that they're performing, has had over 50 million views. So, you know, it's a very popular band, vocal group, and video and performance. And we have another video that is on another channel that does not have many subscribers at all. And I can look into this to see 51 subscribers on this other channel. And this other channel has the unedited vocals on it somehow. So we're going to be comparing the vocals, because this is a vocal group, the vocals from the official released video to the unedited vocals that were recorded on the night. So links to the original videos are in the description below, as always. As for how long the unedited vocals version lasts for online, especially considering the fact that I'm now drawing attention to it, it might well disappear after this analysis video, but of course it's going to be in this analysis video, so at least there'll be some record of it. And I will be jumping into this a lot and just switching between one and the other so that you can hear the difference and see the difference on screen, if indeed there is any difference. So let's have a listen. So this is the official release that we are listening to here, and I mean, I'm not going to be going through it in this kind of detail because these videos are both 15 minutes long. Obviously, it's the same video. It takes 15 minutes. That's how long their performance was. But you might see some difference in the editing from left to right because this is just the raw video on the right-hand side. Anyway, just listening to this again. So you can hear that we've got this na 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 na. That's our melody that we've got. And now I'm going to go to the actual recording. So there, we all I know that they're only introducing themselves as the band, and they obviously do this in order to show their vocal harmonies and just say the name of the band or the vocal group. But already we've got editing going on. Listen again. That yeah, is definitely not where it ended. So you can already hear the pitch correction. What happens here is the note that they hit actually live should have been higher, so that those higher harmonies have been dragged above. But anyway, we're not even this isn't even into the performance yet.
안녕하세요, 마마무입니다.
And now they talk for a while, so I'm just going to skip it forward. But you can see that this is a totally genuine video.
가져주셨으면 좋겠습니다. 네, 새 앨범 트랩을 많이 사랑해 주세요. 그럼 가볼까요?
네.
Drop the beat.
I mean, it's interesting because here, look at they're just talking. But here, the F4 is right on that line and the F4 here is right on that line. Because they're just talking, this hasn't had any editing done to it. So the talking is absolutely as it was when they were live. And that part is obviously on a backing track because they're not even singing that harmony part, or it might have just been an introduction to them as a band, maybe saying Mamamoo, and now they're going to get into their singing. So when we get into the performance, on the left-hand side, the official release, look at how we're over the D4 and we're flat of the D4 here. And I mean, looking here as well, we've got a note that's between notes, and we've got another one that's bang on the D4. And I mean, this has been slightly moved up to the E4 as well. So already, I mean, we haven't even really started, but we've got quite a lot of editing going on already just in this first vocal phrase. So what we'll do actually is have a listen to the raw audio. And you can hear that the notes are flat because we can see them on screen, but we can hear that this, if we're drawing a line through this very fast vibrato that happened, it would be just between the notes, and this would be flat there. So I'm just going to take it back, have a listen again. And now the official release. So you can hear how it's just been adjusted to obviously sound more in tune. You know, singing like this, we know it is really difficult to be really accurate pitch-wise all the time. It takes a hell of a lot of practice. And this is why so many vocal groups sound so accurate now, is because they are, unfortunately, not really close to the notes, but they are then edited to be close to the notes. But anyway, let's just listen on. And you can hear straight away that we're calibrated to A440 standard pitch, and you can see it here. And again, bang on that D4, flattered the D4. We had another note here that was kind of between notes, almost sharp of the C sharp 4, and this actually was between notes. And look at the level of editing here. The D4 is absolutely bang on there, and this is the same note, it's right between the lines. So you can hear that we're a little bit flat, well, probably where we want to be. And you can hear how pristine the vocal is now after playing that second time was the official release. And let's listen to this. And again here, F4, bang over the line, and here, I mean, we are closer to the E4. So we know that they weren't using auto-tune live, because you'd hear it and you'd see on the right-hand side that we'd be over the lines all the time. So this is a post-processed, pitch-corrected vocal, and the advantage of doing it that way is that when there's a note like this that is actually starting out closer to the E4, auto-tune would grab that and put it on an E4. You don't want it on an E4, it should have been an F4. So it means that this can be squashed down and now moved up to the F4 with something such as Melodyne. So it means that it can be edited in a lot more detail.
너 나한테 관심 있지?
Oh, we have got backing track elements coming in there as well. So on the official release and the unedited vocals, all of the talking is left exactly as it is in order to give it this kind of spontaneous, I don't know, impression of a vocal and a performance. Because when they're talking, well, people would think, well, it can't be auto-tuned, it can't be tuned in any way because they're talking in between, singing. So how's that possible? It's because the whole thing is post-edited. But let's listen again, or let it roll on for the actual vocals.
Mr. MMO, 날 갖고 놀려 하지 마.
You can see that we're actually getting, even on the unedited vocals, there are backing track elements that are coming through. So what must have been happening when they were performing this live, they've got obviously the song playing in the background with vocals on it, and they are singing over the top of that. So that's why we occasionally get this kind of backing track thing coming through, which you can see here is the D4 directly over the line, and you can see it replicated here. The D4, this little dip that we have, and this little dip that we have is the same audio from left to right, but let's listen on.
Hey, mister.
Come
on, let's go, Musta.
But the thing is, you'll see this kind of thing all the way through the 15 minutes. So the C4 there, absolutely bang on. The C4, we're actually between notes again. And run on a little bit. Because with this kind of talking, and here we go. This is where we get a perfect replication. Because this is totally unedited. Nothing's been done to this. So this is why it looks exactly the same from right to left. And just to show that fact, let me just take this over there, place this over the top like that. And there we go. So we have this perfect replication of the audio file, which means it's a totally unedited vocal. And then when I let it play on,
말해봐 Mr. MMO 왜 삐딱하게 구는 거래 마치 베레모 사랑가 보지 말고 빨리 와요 내게로 사랑은 쟁취하는 거야 불러봐요 세레모 가게 Mr. MMO
So now if I were to take the same audio again over and do exactly what we just did, because this should be, yeah, if it's the same audio, and straight away if I now move it for pitch and just make sure that I'm getting these lines in the correct place. Now have a look at the difference we have. It's not one line going perfectly over another line. We've now got lines that, let me bring it in a little bit. We've got that and then we've got that. So looking at the difference in these lines, they are morphing. And when you kind of leave them kind of half and half, you can see how the pitch correction has totally changed the sound that was happening at the time. But it shows you how much the editing process changes the vocal, that it now no longer goes over the top of the actual vocal that was created and sung at the time. It's now a totally new audio file. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. So I am going to move this forward because this video could go on for years. But hopefully this is giving you an appreciation of the amount of editing that happens. And just to throw this in there again, this is an industry standard process. When you are listening to a performance, even one like this that looks like a totally live 15-minute medley, it is massively edited before being uploaded to YouTube. Like I said, I can't believe that the one on the right-hand side exists, that we can actually hear what it sounded like.
네 멋대로 중심이 돼 넌 너만 생각해 그럴 거면 넌 나 해 네 멋대로 굴면 안 돼 멋대로만 해.
So, I mean, all of that section, you would say, sounds like live vocals. They are live vocals. Let me take that back and we'll have a listen to the official release.
네 멋대로 중심이 돼 넌 너만 생각해 그럴 거면 넌 나 해 네 멋대로 굴면 안 돼 멋대로만 해.
Yes, so here, this that A sharp 4 was kind of between notes, whereas on the official audio they've kind of moved that up. Yeah, and here you can see and you can hear that we're kind of between notes here, but you know the official release will have that centralized, and let's just listen to that. And then it's absolutely over that line. Just to mention at this point that this kind of performance you would never ever hear in previous generations of artists and performers, especially vocal groups, because this couldn't be done to voices. You would hear this. That would be your only option. You know, when we're talking about great vocal groups, you know, such as the Bee Gees, for example, who I have featured on my channel, back in the day, you just had to be really good, and it's really difficult to harmonize with other singers accurately. You know, it takes a hell of a lot of practice. You know, with the Bee Gees, a lifetime of practice to get as tight vocally as they were. At the moment, the reason why there are so many really accurate sounding, and I've mentioned them on my channel and featured a lot of vocal groups who are very well known on YouTube and might have millions of subscribers, they use pitch correction. And again, you're just setting up the next generation for failure, because they're never going to be able to do this unless you say to them, look, whatever you're singing, don't worry about pitch, because use melodyne. That's what we're using in order to get our vocals to sound like they do. So let's have a listen to the original audio.
맞춰 아프고 너에게 나를 맡겨 너에게 나를 맡겨 이건 좀 run away I'm in 하늘 넘을 것만 같아 너와 나 같이
Have a listen to the official release again.
하늘 넘을 것만 같아 너와 나 같이 그린 I feel good 오렌지 빛깔 그린
Anyway, I'm going to move it forward.
미련이야 식탁이 차려진 음식 혼자 덤덤하죠 늦어 식사 무기력 공허함 외로움 날씨 구름 기분 다운돼
It's absolutely faultless with staying on pitch.
네 멀쩡한 말이 없어 모든 게 거슬려 왜
함께 있을 때 왜 더 아름답지 못했는지
And then we get into some singing. So let's now listen to the original audio.
공허함 외로움 날씨 구름 기분 다운돼 있네 멀쩡한 날이 없어 모든 게 거슬려 왜
함께 있을 때 왜 더 아름답지 못했는지 두 눈에 노란 이별 가사로 채우는지
Yeah, and then we get into the live vocals. And I mean, the main thing that you can see when we're looking at it on the pitch monitoring software, it's so obvious where, you know, we've had the edits that have happened. And the fact that, you know, where it is quite far off, you know, things have been adjusted just to get over the lines, you know. Even here, when we get into this part of the you know, going up to that E4, you can see that actually we were kind of between notes here, but it's, you know, just underneath the E4 here, really consistent with that pitch. But anyway, I'm just going to move it forward, and the performance is 15 minutes in length. As you guys can imagine, I could go through the whole thing, and I think you'd be able to hear the difference between these two.
소리 없이 눈물이 흐르며 No, no, no 너의 목소리도 So much I miss you Oh, no, no
Okay, right, so we will now have a listen to the official audio.
소리 없이 눈물이 흐르며 No, no, no 너의 목소리도 So much I miss you Oh, no, no
And I mean, all I can say, and this is something that I've said about auto-tune and pitch correction in the past, it creates a new audio file.
I miss you I miss you
So, I mean, I don't know, I feel like telling anyone who's watching this video to show this video to any young singers who are watching this kind of performance and think that they're not good enough, because look at the way that we're between notes here, but it's been corrected. We're flat of the note here, but it's been corrected. And here we're actually sharp and it's been corrected. Here we're flat and it's been corrected. So moving back, I mean, I can literally go through this whole thing and say, look, we're kind of flat here and it's been corrected. And here we were actually over the line, so that's great. But here we're between notes and it's been corrected. So these singers that the younger generation and younger singers might be looking up to, they don't realise that the people they're watching are missing notes really regularly. Like if we're looking from, you know, right to left, and I'll try and skip back here, whenever there's a point at which we're directly over the E4 here. Look at how far away from the E4 we are here. So, yeah, the amount of editing in here, a little bit below the line, and then bang over that F. Well, that would have been the F sharp 4 should have been up here. So the F4. So we were a semitone sharp here. That's how far off it was. But it's then been corrected to be directly over the line. So when imagine somebody trying to sing a song, and they're trying to learn to sing, and they miss the note by a semitone. They might give up singing because they say, well, I can't sing. I can't hit the notes. But then you can say, well, no, a girl band who are professional singers, this is their job. This is what they do. They also miss notes by a semitone. And a semitone is a long way when we're talking. I mean, it's literally the wrong note. So it's a long way when we're talking about vocals.
Ring, ring, no one makes so much. Ring, ring, no one makes so much. 빼지 말고 정정. Go, go, baby. 빼지 말고 정정. Go, go, baby. 뻔뻔하게 놀아. 뻔뻔하게 놀아. 미친 듯이 즐겨. 미친 듯이 즐겨. 필요 없어 wrong and right. 필요 없어 wrong and right. On and on, on and on, go, go, baby. On and on, on and on, go, go, baby. Ella, 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 Ella. Ella, 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 Ella. Go, go, baby. Ella, 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 Ella. Go, go, baby. Ella, 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 Ella.
Obviously, I've been skipping through this, but like I said, I could be, doing this all day with this performance.
눈물인지 또 빗물인지 넌 내게 모욕감을 줬어 눈물이 툭 떨어진다.
And this is the thing, that live vocals and heavily edited vocals from a pitch perspective are night and day. You can tell straight away. If we're listening to this,
이기적인 넌 이젠 지쳐.
I mean, you can hear actually where the pitch corrected backing vocal comes in on the backing track.
눈물인지 또 빗물인지 넌 내게 모욕감을 줬어.
I mean, it's just a live vocal. That's, like I said, night and day. And then when we go to the official release,
못된 사랑 놀이에 미쳐. 이기적인 넌 이젠 지쳐. 눈물인지 또 빗물인지 넌 내게 모욕감을 줬어.
and again, I just want to jump in here. That, oh, it is so spot on, but it didn't happen. Have a listen. Mo. It was more kind of like that. So that, oh, that didn't happen, what we heard. So this is it. It's just it's a new audio file. It's taking a noise, and a computer is creating its own new version of whatever the noise was. And this is why I don't class pitch corrected vocals or auto-tuned vocals as vocals, because it's not what happened. So if we start replacing things with other things that didn't happen, where does that end? It's almost like they don't have to worry. And I'd say that artists now in the mainstream music industry don't have to worry about pitch. And back in the day, that was the only thing to worry about. If you couldn't sing on key and, on pitch, then you wouldn't get radio airplay. You had to have some kind of USP, unique selling point. You had to be like an amazing songwriter, for example, where your voice wasn't really that necessary to get across the point of what you're saying, because you've written a great song with great lyrical content that is hitting a nerve with people on that deeper level of the human condition. So you get some great songwriters who weren't the most amazing singers, but they were amazing songwriters, and they do those other things. Whereas when you're just looking at a vocal group, they have to be amazing singers. You have to be, or I should say, you had to be amazing singers, and you had to be able to sing with really tight harmonies. But now you don't. And that's the sad fact of it, that to sound like an amazingly tight vocal harmony group, you don't have to be good at singing accurately. And I know it sounds crazy, but this is a video that proves that. If they see my video, this video on the right hand side is going to be gone. Quicker than you can say unedited vocals, it'll be removed from the internet, because the record labels don't want you hearing what the actual vocalists are producing. They want every vocalist to sound absolutely perfect, as if they are better than everyone else. And that's the reason that they are where they are, is because they're better than everyone else. But they're not. Yeah, there are a lot of singers that I would say aren't professional singers who can sing more accurately. And the record labels don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that they've put together some, attractive looking, men, women, girls, boys, if you're talking about girl bands and boy bands. They don't want to admit that they've put together an image and it doesn't really matter that they can't sing, and they might not be able to sing, but they can use technology to then make it sound like not only that they can sing, but they're the most accurate harmony group you've ever heard in your life. But thank you guys for the links to these videos and for suggesting this particular analysis for tonight. Keep those suggestions and requests coming in the comment section below. As always, let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!